1962. The Soviet Union and the United States were locked in a battle for global supremacy. They were launching proxy wars against each other, and the world stood on the brink of nuclear war. In the middle of these two superpowers was Canada.
Every man, woman, and child lives under a nuclear sword of Damocles, hanging by the slenderest of threads, capable of being cut at any moment by accident or miscalculation or by madness. The weapons of war must be abolished before they abolish us.
Madness and miscalculations were plentiful that fall. The Soviets brought in nuclear missiles to Cuba to threaten America, and as a result the Cuban Missile Crisis began, because these missiles were within 90 miles of US territory. As a result of this Soviet shipment to Cuba, John F. Kennedy said the following.
A strict quarantine on all offensive military equipment under shipment to Cuba is being initiated. All ships of any kind bound for Cuba, from whatever nation or port, will, if found to contain cargoes of offensive weapons, be turned back. It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States.
Canada was led by John Diefenbaker during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Diefenbaker and Kennedy did not have a good relationship, and this clouded Diefenbaker's judgment during the crisis. When Kennedy informed Diefenbaker about the launch sites in Cuba, Diefenbaker demanded more conclusive evidence and suggested that the UN be brought in to assess the situation. This was contrary to Kennedy's planned course of action. Diefenbaker also refused to raise military awareness levels to DEFCON 3, despite being requested to do so by Kennedy. The Canadian military still took informal steps to prepare for the worst. Diefenbaker supported the blockade of Cuba, but only officially raised alertness to DEFCON 3 after the climax of the crisis had passed. This was a low point in Canada-US relations because of a lack of cooperation and coordination, along with the frosty relationship of the two heads of state, which made the crisis more difficult to handle. Canada was within range of missiles stationed in Cuba, and thus was forced to play a role in aiding the US and openly supporting them during this volatile phase of the Cold War. The Cuban Missile Crisis ended after 14 tense days. The Soviets agreed to withdraw their missiles from Cuba on the condition that America would not invade Cuba without direct provocation and would dismantle their own missile launch sites in Italy and Turkey. Thus ended the episode which brought the world as close as it has ever been to nuclear war.